Tell us how you first met Lisa.
Well, I didn't really meet her like per se. The first time I ever saw her though was at Montclair State College in New Jersey. I was in the student center walking down the hall and I saw her at our literature table. I was part of a Christian fellowship and she was at our literature table talking to one of my friends, and when she walked away, she had walked away before I got there, and I just asked who that girl was, and he told me who it was. And anyway, probably the first time I really met her was at one of our Chi Alpha meetings at Montclair State. Yeah. And I said to my friend when I first saw her, I said, I'm gonna marry that girl.
Lisa, tell us about the first time you met Mike.
First time I met Mike won't be the same story he tells because I don't remember him that time, but I met Michael first time. It was in Chi Alpha, which is a Christian fellowship group at our college in Montclair State University, and he was leading worship, making announcements, and using his hands. He's tall and thin and not my type and klutzy. He spilled his soda everywhere, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, he looked like a nerd, and that wasn't my type. But anyway, that's the first time I ever met Mike Engel.
So when did you know you were in love?
Just probably spent a lot of time with her. Probably the first time I realized that, I was really in love with her. We were, once again, I was part of a Christian fellowship, and we were out a leadership retreat in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we were just walking around together, the downtown area. I think that's when I started realizing that, I was falling for her.
Okay, so when did you first know you were in love?
Okay, first time I ever knew I was in love. I think I was in love Valentine's Day when we first started dating, but I think that I really knew he was the one. One time I was sick. I needed something done with my eyes, and he drove me to get vision therapy every weekend or every week. And I just remember coming home one day and thinking, what a kind person he is, and he's handsome. Of course, I thought he was handsome after I fell in love with him. So I think that's probably what happened. I think he just took care of me, and I loved that about him. So that's probably when I first knew.
Tell us about your first date.
First date we ever had, actually she kind of arranged it. I'm pretty sure this was our first day. I hope I'm right on this, but she called me up on the phone and said, I want you to come down to South Jersey and visit me and meet my parents and bring a hammer with you. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know why I'm bringing a hammer, but I brought the hammer with me. We ended up going to this place in Pennsylvania called Ringing Rocks. It's like along a river, and you hit the hammer on these rocks and they ring and they make musical notes.
So tell us about your first date.
Okay, first date would be, first unofficial date would be Ringing Rocks in Pennsylvania, and we weren't quite dating yet, but I liked him. And so we went to, I asked him to come visit me in South Jersey, or Central Jersey, and he told me to bring a hammer, and he had no idea why, so we went up to, I forget where it is, it's in Pennsylvania somewhere, in Bucks County, and it's a natural phenomenon where you bring your hammer and you bang on the rocks and it makes music. It makes sounds. So that was my first unofficial date. I don't know what my first official date was, but that's my first, in my opinion, date.
What was your favorite date?
More like dates. We spent a lot of time. I was really big into going out in nature, going on hikes and bird watching, and so I took her bird watching for the first time. She had never done that before. So she's an Italian girl from New Jersey. What did she know about bird watching? So we went out together and we did a lot of that. We did a lot of bird watching and just spent a lot of time with one another. Just really kind of grew in our relationship, spending those times outside in nature.
So what was your favorite date?
Okay, favorite date would be, we had a lot of good ones. We did bird watching a lot. I think my favorite date would be the time we went to Ringwood Manor, and it was spring, kind of still cool in the air. We laid a picnic blanket and had picnic lunch and just sat underneath this huge pine tree. You smelled the pine needles. It was just very romantic and very wonderful. That's my favorite date.
What do you love most about Lisa?
Her passion for life, She just loves everything that she does. Whatever she does, she just puts her whole heart into it. Especially her love for the Lord. She just loves Jesus, and ever since she was a little girl, she's been walking with Jesus since she was like 7 years old. And her love for people, she cares about people and she listens to people, and she's genuine in her care for people. And she's just a great mom. She loves her kids and she just pours her life into them, and homeschooling them, spending time with them, and just being a great encourager to me. She's been my biggest fan, since we've been married. So she's always encouraging me and pushing me and to do better, and just always encouraging me no matter what happens in life. She's always there for me.
What is your favorite thing about Mike?
Favorite thing about Mike? Is that a new question? Okay, I love that he wants to protect me. He fights for me. He's always been my cheerleader. He loves me no matter what. He is compassionate and giving, and I just think that I love having, he's like a rock for me. I love having him look after me and be, he's my umbrella. That's how I like to say it. He's my umbrella, my covering, and he does that very well.
What are some of your favorite memories from the past 25 years?
Just spending time with her, like I said, when we were, starting to get one another earlier in our relationships, just spending time with her and in the outdoors, and of course our wedding day and vacations. We spent a lot of time in Vermont. Those were just really fun times, and having our kids, of course, that was, one of the best things that has ever happened to either one of us. So, and just growing in a relationship over 25 years.
What are some of your best memories from the past 25 years?
My wedding day, of course, was a fantastic memory. Birth of my children. Probably even some of those sadder moments that we've been through are fantastic memories. Just, getting through difficult times, like when we lost our first child, and, just having him by my side.
All right, what do you hope for the next 25 years?
I just hope that we grow closer together, and that we continue to build on our friendship and our love for one another. Especially, pretty soon the boys are going to be leaving. They're getting close to that age, so we're going to be alone in a house, and so we're only going to have one another. And so I just hope we just grow closer as friends. And I think of my grandparents a lot. My grandfather and my grandmother, they were still holding hands, even when they were in their 80s and growing old, they still, they would go for walks and they would still hold hands with one another. They just loved each other so much, and I just hope for that for our relationship and our marriage.
What is your hope for the next 25 years?
Next 25 years, I hope that we rediscover each other and, work on us as a couple, because my children will eventually leave, and I want to just, have that time with my husband and have it be special again. I want to travel and want to have family things happen. I want see my kids all get married and have children, and really, I love my family. And I see us, we're quiet people. We really are, even though my kids are not quiet. We are quiet people. I see us kind of growing old together and just enjoying the quietness of, wherever we are, just being together, whether it's on vacation in the mountains or here in Florida. I just found out I love spending time with him. So that's my hope for the next 25 years.